Working is old. JRJE, that is actually not true. So I'm going to go ahead and block you. Thank you. Hey, April. James is in the house. It's so good to see everybody this morning. Yeah, Amy, I know. I try to respond to everybody. I really do try. Chris has got to go grocery shopping. Hey, Iowa girl. Myrtle Beach. Guru. I actually got what I believe to be an exclusive this time over Robbie Harvey. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Oh Lord. Wow, I'm going to be on the blockade this morning. Block and block and block, and I'm going to block you. I don't even address nonsense. I think some people are in here under fake accounts upset about what I'm about to say. I think that's what it is. Maybe a little bit of JP's army coming over here, getting ready. Is that what it is? Is that what's happening? Hey, Sherry. What's up, Tiger Lily? What's up, Beck? Beast, good to see you. Shanna, good to see you. Ooh, Carrie's in the house. Linzarella using her
beautiful people.
Hey there.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I'll let you go first, and then I'll.
This is a whole show, so if you have a story to update folks on, just go ahead and do it.
Okay, so I know we were wanting to know more about the Tupac Shakur case. Okay, Now this came out as of 2 days ago. Now, in regard to the Tupac case, this is out of the Associated Press. The only suspect ever to be charged in the 1990s killing of rap icon Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas has lost a bid to have his unaliving case dismissed. In a ruling Tuesday from the bench, Clark County District Court Judge Carly Clarney said Dwayne Keefe D. Davis isn't protected against prosecution because he has not provided proof of immunity deals that he says he reached years ago with federal and local authorities while still living in California. Davis and his lawyer had argued that he never should have been charged with the unaliving because of those deals. Attorney Carl Arnold also said that the indictment against his 61-year-old client is an egregious violation of his constitutional rights because of a 27-year delay in prosecution. But Kearney said she found no evidence that it was intentional. Arnold said after court that they will decide in the coming days if they will appeal the judge's decision to the state Supreme Court. Davis's trial in Las Vegas is currently scheduled for March 17th, but it could be delayed while he appeals. He has pleaded not guilty to the first-degree unaliving and remains jailed in Las Vegas. Prosecutors have said that the evidence against Davis is strong, including his own accounts of the 1996 pew-pewing in his tell-all memoir. Davis, an ex-gang leader, is accused of orchestrating the pew-pewing near the Las Vegas Strip that unalived Shakur shortly after a brawl at a casino involving Shakur and Davis's nephew, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson. Davis is originally from Compton, California. He was arrested in September 2023 in his neighborhood near Las Vegas, nearly 30 years after the pew-pewing that became one of hip-hop's most enduring mysteries. In interviews and his 2019 memoir that describes his life as a leader of the Crips gang, in Compton, Davis and he obtained a 40 cal pew pew and handed it to Anderson in the back seat of a car, from which he and authorities say pew pews were fired and secure in another car. Davis is the last living suspect. Anderson had denied involvement in the pew-pewing before his own death in 1998. Two other men in the car with Anderson and Davis were also unalived. Secure's death at 25 came as his fourth solo album, All Eyes on Me, remained on the charts with some 5 million copies sold, nominated 6 times for a Grammy Award. Shakur is still largely considered one of the most influential and versatile rappers of all time. And that is the conclusion of that article. That is your update.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I appreciate you and everything that you do, and I want you to know that. You mean a lot to me. Thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome. I did have good news.
What?
William Lewis Reese wrote me back, and so I just can't post it in the Discord.
Okay.
But he did write me back.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's he was just upset that I had shared it to the Discord, but that's okay. And, well, he's fine. He's okay with it.
Okay.
And also we have Erin Michelle Caffey. Same with Reese. She doesn't want it posted to the Discord, but she's willing to communicate with us, so to speak.
Okay.
So
that's good. Well, folks, let's talk about what John Paul Miller handed that police officer. Now, remember, everything is allegedly. If you have any coins and you can throw something, I've put confetti as the goal. I don't know if the coin thing is working yet. There's some issues with it, and because it's not in the shop and whatnot. But there it is, in case you can. Okay, so here's what we know. This inside source that I spoke to is a solid one. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bring it up. Thank you. Thank you so much for the confettis, guys. Thank you. What I can tell you is that the police department is torn. Some are for the protesters, and some are for John Paul Miller. This person who let me know this is connected to the they knew Micah, okay? They knew them. The chief was handed and shown the video from my TikTok page. Directly took their phone to the chief and opened up my account and played that video for him. The police officer that got what he got from John Paul Miller is now in trouble because you are not allowed to do that in any situation. This alleged story is that John Paul Miller handed him $50 because a protester's family was in need. And he didn't want to step out of the car and hand the money directly to the protesters. That's the story. That he just happened to have 2 20s and a 10 in his console. And that he handed it. Now, here's the story. Here's the thing. There's no protesters that received any $50. They've not received anything but lawsuits. And so where's the $50? It allegedly never left to the police officer's hands to a protester. So where did the $50 go? I have to tell you, this is directly this information. Although I'm probably not supposed to go this far, but I want you to understand the solidness of the source. This is coming straight. This is coming from this is coming from directly from a police officer of the Myrtle Beach Police Department. Okay, that's as much as I can tell you. That's as far as I can go. But that is what they are saying. That is what they are saying. I call BS just like y'all. I believe he handed him $50, but I don't believe it was for any protesters at all. I believe it was allegedly for something else. So, by the way, you can't get body cam footage in South Carolina unless you have a court order. So, screw you to the person who just said, I'll have to apologize when the body cam comes out. I don't have to apologize to anybody for anything ever. So, is this true? I don't know. Did he hand him money? Did he hand him a business card? Did he hand him a note that says, good job? We don't know. We have no idea. I can see these accounts coming here under fake names. You're just going to get blocked. We don't entertain. And nor do I really even see your comments if you're coming in here to bash me. I really don't even see them. I might see one very quickly, but you're wasting your time. You're not going to stop me or slow me down or keeping me from reporting. Yeah, mods are on point today. Mods. Let's see if I got a room to add you as a mod. There's some rando. I added you as a mod. Hey, 10 lines. I see you. Thank you for your hard work. So, what in the hay bale did he hand him? I'm telling you, this source is basically straight from the pits of the Myrtle Beach Police Department. They're torn. They're torn. Within the department, there's conversations back and forth. Some are pro, some are not. Do we know for sure? No, I don't know for sure. He could have handed him a gummy worm. I don't know. All I know, actually, let me read you the exact words. He is in trouble now. Those are the words about the police officer that allegedly took the $50. Pay $50 to make you holler. Exactly, McLovin. How can anybody be torn? We don't know. These names coming in here is cracking me up. Darla says, can you see where JP leaning to get his wallet out? Then he gave him the money. It looks to me like he is reaching for the middle console. We could watch it because I think his wallet probably would be in his pocket, I would think. Oh, wait, let me. It almost looks like he already had it in his hand.
So, truthfully, did he take the bribe or no?
Well, it's allegedly, I don't know what it is. Let's get that clear. I don't know if it was a business card or, like I said, a gummy worm or whatnot. But he handed him something. Something was handed. That's true. We can see that in the video. The way he's looking around makes it really, really, really suspicious. I was watching live when that happened, and it just so happened that I think someone hit the camera or knocked the camera over. But that we were lucky that that one part was on video.
Honestly, if I didn't have anything shady to give a cop, why would I look both ways?
Exactly. Summer says she heard it was the wind. Ooh. Oh my goodness. So, yes, here's what I want to know. Good question, Speedy. I was wondering the same thing. What happened next? That would have to be answered for the people at the protest. Did the cop just drive away? Did he sit there for a while? Did he talk to anybody? Does anybody know? Everyone was watching. Summer's using stickers. Synergy says, why would he give money for a protester? Exactly. It makes 0 sense. But that is the alleged story that was told to the police chief, that it was for a protester's family who was in need, and John Paul didn't want to step out in public and physically hand the protester the $50.
That does not track. And the reason why would you be generous and then also on the same token file so many lawsuits and so many restraining orders? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And you just happen to have $50 cash on you. Um, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So when I read it, I was like, there's what? But that's the story that the police officers that was involved is giving. The problem is nobody knows where the $50 is, and there's no idea who at the protest needed the money. How did John Paul? So that particular cop, Robbie Harvey, has identified, and I forget his name now. But if you guys remember, he went over and spoke with Allie and a few others there because of the guy that walked out of the church and across the street to get to film tag members. That woman that was driving Micah's car, her son. I'm really bad with names. Michael, thank you. And so when they called the police, there was an older cop and there was a younger cop. The younger cop, if you guys remember that video, is the one that's in the car. Michael Sheenick. Hey, Melissa's in here. Melissa P. Melissa, I've got a source, pretty solid source, saying that the cop took $50 from John Paul Miller to give to a protester's family who was in need and did not want to. Paul Miller did not want to step outside of his vehicle and hand it to the protester. So he handed it to the cop. And the police chief has seen the video. And that's the story that the cop is giving, that John Paul Miller gave him the money, allegedly, to give to the protesters, allegedly. Hey, Melissa.
So I was at work, but I was watching the live, and I can go back and pull John X live from that day. There was a lady who came and spoke with the protesters and told the protesters she was having a hard time and was escaping a DV situation. She was not a protester. She was just a lady. And our protesters gave her some money. Allegedly, at a later date, we were informed, and we don't know if it's true. We haven't been able to confirm it, but we have been told this lady who came and gave us this story was walking the dog of the lady who we believe was a distraction the day of Sandra's assault.
Hold on a minute. What? Say that again. The lady that was in need is the lady that was walking the dog on the day of that alleged assault.
We were told that I believe it was later on in the day that she was seen walking this same lady's dog, which was the lady that we believe was a distraction the day Sandra was assaulted.
Wow. I'm without words. If that, I'm trying to connect the dots. If that was a distraction and now she's in need, why would John Paul Miller then give a donation?
It's not the same lady that was in supposedly in need. Is was walking the dog of the lady who was the distraction that day. She was walking her dog.
Okay.
Here's they are friends. So I can't say for sure, but I tell you I don't believe not a single one of the protesters got $50 from John Paul.
At any time after that event, did you see that police officer talking to the lady in need?
I like I said, I wasn't there, so I would have to get with.
There. That's right. I forgot you had to work. Yeah.
I came only to deal with the police after everything happened. I took my lunch and came to deal with them. And then I went back, but I could give me a minute. I'll hop down. I'll touch base and I'll find out some more information. I'll come back.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Amanda says the cops took the money for himself. I think that is not what happened. Allegedly. Everything in here, by the way, is allegedly, and everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We have, 35,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 50. That's really great. We have 273 souls in the room. Just in case you have any coins left, or you can throw a coin or two. Today's live goal is 10 confettis. We already have 5 of them. And 275 souls is so much. Thank you for being in here. JD recap is allegedly there was the $50 handed from John Paul Miller to the police officer. And I'm trying to figure out where that went, because I don't know if it went to the lady in need. And I don't even know if police officers are allowed to do that. And all of that chaos that day. And that's the conversation that they have. The police officer goes over and then that's what they talk about is this alleged donation need, and not the events that was going on that day or what happened that day. It's weird.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
JP says that he doesn't have social media. So if that lady asked or says anything about in need of money, how did he know about that if he doesn't have social media and wasn't watching the live? Exactly.
And I was wondering, did the police officer tell him about it? Right. Oh, well, there was a lady in need and she's still here. Was she there? Was she still there? Is it a distraction? Is she a paid actor by John Paul Miller just to take money from protesters? Anything's possible. Let me accept these guest requests. I'm sorry if I didn't see it. Hey, Allie.
Hey, I was just wondering, can you quickly recap I just heard about it, and I need to send this to my lawyer.
Sure. So I have a very solid inside source.
Okay.
It's so like I wouldn't even say anything unless this was a good source. But they told me that the police chief has been shown the video. Specifically, they took a phone to the police chief and pulled up my TikTok and pulled up that video and said, "Watch this." And when he watched it, he said allegedly that the story is, at least in the department, that the police officer took $50 from John Paul Miller to give to a protester who was in need. Now, I was told a protester, but Melissa's pointed to the fact that it may be the lady walking by who was in need. And so that's the story. And my question is, that's what they talked about of all the events of that day, that guy walking over toward y'all like he did and the police came. It's the younger one, the two cops that spoke to y'all, it's the younger one.
Yeah.
Michael something.
Wow.
But the problem is nobody can say where the $50 went, and I never saw a police officer give $50 to anybody.
So
Wow.
the girl who came, she was not a protester. She just pulled up and told her story, and our protesters gave her $120 and put her in touch. Did speak with the officer and supposedly put her in touch with Echo, and she was gone by the time him and that officer had a conversation. She was no longer there.
I mean, how stupid are they? They know cameras are pointing right at them. That's what I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. I mean, John Paul looked around him like, it was going to be secretive. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking around like the suspicious thing you are, and then you're going to go and hand somebody a cop cash. Yes, I'm hearing that he's in trouble. The cop is going to be reprimanded for his actions because they are not allowed to do that. That is according to the source.
So the police officer you spoke to, did he say that he showed it to him because the chief of police for Myrtle Beach is a female? Amy.
So I'll read you exactly the wordage, okay? Let me find it.
Never a dull moment, guys. Never a dull moment.
Right?
Okay, so I'm trying to say this without saying this. It was, all I can tell you is that it was reported to the chief. There's no female, he or she. It was reported to the chief. Those are the exact wordage.
The officer knows that they can't take any kind of funds. Okay, so at one point we had inquired about sending an appreciation. I mean, like, there was or having something sent to the officers that were out there.
Mm-hmm.
We would have to send it to the entire department. That's the only way they can do it.
Melissa, you're breaking up a little bit.
I gotta take my case off. I will hop down and then come back when I take my case off.
Okay.
I'd get my headphones down here so I can hear just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Hi, Steph.
Hey, Beast.
Hey, I just wanted to put this out there. I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and I just got done reading all of Myrtle Beach's, South Carolina's rules and regulations for the police department. As a police officer, with this video and this proof of whatever was handed, do you know if, in fact, this officer has been relieved of their police powers? Because that is the step that is supposedly supposed to take place.
All I know is that he's being reprimanded and that he's in trouble. I don't know what they're going to do as far as they're really shady. There's a
Does
lot of
anyone know who?
corruption.
Yeah, does
So
anyone know who that
Thought
officer
he was
was?
awarded some kind of special.
Hit
Yes, we
shit,
have the
shit.
names.
Yeah, hold on. I think I have the card. Hold on, I can spell it out.
It was Shank. It was SCHENK.
Where's your
Okay.
card?
So if he's being okay, so here's my question. If so, if the story is that it was given on behalf of a alleged protester, um, does he still get reprimanded? Number one, but also, can they provide proof that it was given to an actual protester? Because the only person who said they were in need that day was no longer present after money was passed, if that's the case.
Yeah, and she
I,
wasn't a protester.
that
I'm
was my
sorry.
question: was she there after the money was handed? Because then, how would the police officer know where to go or how to give the money to the person who needed it?
And if I'm not mistaken, after he left, the police officer left not long after that.
That was another question: is how long did the police officer stay, and did the police officer even get out of his car and hand anything to anybody?
No. To my knowledge, no. Allie, you were there, did he?
No.
Okay.
The fact of the
And
matter is that they're not supposed to take anything regardless, period. To take it and to pass it along, to take it and whatever. It should never have gone from someone's hands into a police officer's hands. It is in complete violation of their rules and regulations, and that officer should be stripped of his police powers.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
also, I mean, what can we do? You saw us on live if you guys were watching. I know I was crying. All of it, like multiple people were upset because we're so tired of this organized harassment and they refused to make a report or go ask the intent of, the guy that was sent over. I don't even know where to go from here at this point.
Well, I'll tell you, I have reached out to the FBI and I am waiting for a return phone call from a federal bureau investigator that I know, where I was going to show them Stephanie's video and get the FBI involved in this because there's definitely police corruption over there. There's police corruption everywhere. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
even
When
the department that I worked for, that's why I was shunned because I came out against police corruption. So I'm very familiar with all of this and I will do whatever I can to help.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That was my next question. I just want to make sure somebody is reporting it to the FBI. I don't want everybody to clog up their line. But go ahead, Melissa.
I was gonna say when. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Not
Oh,
right now. Go play your Astrobot that you have. Kai, please go
my
play.
cat. So cute.
He just wants to buy every $60 game that he sees.
Oh.
Um, no, I was gonna say, the officer, when we were expressing our concern for the fact that they were taking our tag numbers and getting our information, the officer said, first he told Allie that nobody was running their plates. And so then he says to me, I'm trying very hard to intellectually wrap my head around what you guys are saying. You guys are very public out here, yet you're afraid of them finding out who you are. And he was gaslighting me the entire time. He even at one point said, "Oh, so you're lying to me." And I had to come back and say, "No, I'm not lying. That's not what I said." But I told him, I said, "That's not what we're saying. It's illegal to run plates if you are not an officer. So, what do you need? If you can't run our plates, what's the point in you having our plate numbers? So
Right.
desperately that you would send that boy, I'm not going to say that he sent him out there because we don't know that, but so desperately that you need our plates so bad that you would send him out there to act that way. For what reason? If you're not having our plates ran, common sense. And I'm going to speak for myself because I've already spoken to an officer about this who can't tell me from SLED. My plates were ran 3 times in the same month by SLED. 2 on the same day. 1 at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then again at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. When I spoke with a SLED officer about why mine would have been, I did a FOIA and I asked for all of this information. When I spoke with an officer and asked them why my plates would have been ran, they had no answers for me. They said, well, what if it could have been an officer on duty? I said, well, I could chalk the other 2 in the daytime up to it potentially being an officer on duty running my tags. But at 4 o'clock in the morning, I am not outside of my house. My vehicle is at my house. And the way my apartment complex is set up, you have to drive completely into my complex, loop around, and because I back my vehicle in, you would have to get out of your car to be able to run my plate.
So
It's not a situation where you just ride by like on a regular street and run a tag. Like that's not no. At the 4 o'clock in the morning one, no.
Right.
Well, and then whenever I was asking, whenever I was asking the officer, like, you know, can you go ask his intent? He asked me why, and I explained just what Melissa said. I said, you know, we've had our plates ran, and he rolled his eyes. How would you know that? I said, well, I'm not stupid. I know I can do a DMV FOIA request, which I did. And then he gave me some attitude about, well, why would they run your tags? And I said, that's what I'm asking you.
And it's come out. It's come out from word of mouth, allegedly, that supposedly the day that the assault happened, that he was supposedly over there. There's been multiple different stories for this day, but one of the stories being told is that he was supposedly, allegedly over there getting tag numbers per his lawyer's advice to get restraining orders.
What?
That's one of the stories we have been told.
Right, A. Griffin? Right? I can't even speak right now. This is so clear what he is allegedly doing. So clear. Okay. So, did the $50 allegedly go toward somebody's alleged personal pocket?
So after our big snow yesterday, or day before yesterday, there's footprints walking around the side of my other car that no one knows about, that walk around to the back of it and stop there and then walk back towards the front. So I believe he's got the tag number off of my other vehicle that no one knew about.
Oh my God. Do you have security cameras at your building?
Yes. I asked the HOA for it and they told me I need to check with the property management company, which doesn't like to do anything for anybody, but I'm going to go down there and talk to them. Okay. And my dash cam on that car went dead because it's been sitting for a month and a half.
What the heck? How my glove is not working?
I think it's so bizarre for them to go to that length.
That's so cute. Something's not working, and that just made me giggle.
He's trying to put gloves on him and he can't get his fingers in the right spot.
Sorry, y'all.
He's so
It's
funny.
okay. It's okay. Justice for Jennifer Johnson, did you mean to come up to the panel? And Wendy.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Sometimes people hit it by accident, but go ahead.
Oh, yes, girl. Yes. Oh, no, I'm just chiming in because it all sounds familiar with Jennifer's case. So I'm just chiming in.
Let's see. Hey, Wendy, did you mean to come up here? Probably not. So you go down. Hey, Heather. Didn't mean to come up here. Bye. They really should separate the buttons and say, okay, that is going to be way down here, and then you can click to tap, because sometimes people just tap their way right on into the panel.
I gotta charge the doorbell.
No, man. So we have 57,000 likes, and there's 373 souls in this room. I changed the goal if you do have any extra to the hearts in case you want to throw one. Thank you, Lady in Red. So that's how I feel too about those stickers.
Hey,
Hi. Hi, Miss Ross.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So, if the officer that took the money allegedly, shouldn't he have a body cam on to where if he did hand it to somebody, they should have that?
Yes. In fact, a troll came in here just a while ago and said, oh, you're going to have to apologize when the body cam comes out. The problem is in South Carolina, you can't get body cam unless you have a court order.
Dang.
So, yeah.
I'm curious about that.
Nico says body cams don't run all the time depending on policies. So I bet that he didn't even have it on. That's true, because normally they only turn those on when they are engaged in a traffic stop.
Oh yeah, they turn it on anytime they're talking to us. So it better have been on while he was talking to JP. That's all I'm gonna say.
Just from, what Melissa and Allie were just saying, from the way he is treating them, allegedly, sounds to me like he's already got that free ticket.
Yeah.
This is the same officer, you guys, that sat in his car the day of the altercation between Jay and JP.
Okay. The cop, the one that was in the middle of the road,
Yes.
that's where JP was walking over to. Okay.
Exactly. JP
So-
must have been $50 short last time, allegedly.
Okay. So we're all on the same page here. Without saying it, we all understand what may be going on here, right?
Yes.
Hey, Melissa, did I hear that officer made a threat that he should arrest one of the protesters for something that day when he was out there?
He alleged that one of the protesters could have been gotten for disorderly conduct.
What?
For telling him to get away.
Whatever. No. Britt says there's an echo. I don't hear it, but if you're not speaking, just mute your mic, and that might help the echo situation. So just when you speak, just unclick it and speak. Carrie says, I think he was talking Allie. I was watching. Oh, the cop was? Christy says, I had to step away, but it was answered how JP knew someone that needed. Oh, but was it? So I mean, that's the story, is that he paid $50 to hand to somebody in need, but he didn't want to hand it directly, so he had the cop do it instead. Krista says the young kid that walked through the protester Sunday is one of the new lawsuits from maybe a vehicle. Hold on. The young kid that walked through the protest Sunday is one of the new lawsuits. Is one of the new lawsuits? Can explain that a little bit further. I'm a little confused.
He's no. That is Kristen Fazio's son.
Yeah. I was trying to think of her name. Tracy Ray says, I think that it's a statement and then a question with what? I don't know what that is. Coco Post says he was a kid that pulled up at the night of the flicker lights. Really? So they sent him over to investigate the flickering lights too? Beach says, so what if he's getting numbers for his lawyer and the lawyer is having cops to run the tags? So, you're going, let's just add 1 and 2 together to get the number 3 here. It's simple math. It's a simple way of thinking. It's very suspicious. Totally provable. If we can't get the body cam, and if the body cam was running, then I'm sure the police chief can get the body cam. The fact is he wasn't supposed to do it at all, that cop. And if my source is correct, which I feel they are, there's no way that this is, then he should be reprimanded, and he is, but we don't know what the reprimandation is. Interesting if he shows up to another protest.
The other thing is in regards to our FOIA. I have 2 vehicles. My one vehicle was ran by a state trooper, and I'm aware of that. And when I filled my FOIA out, I was very specific on my request for both vehicles, and I asked for the officer's name, his rank at the time he ran my tag, the time, all of the things for both vehicles. My one vehicle that was ran by the state trooper, I have all of his information. I know exactly who ran my tag. All of the sled times that my vehicle was ran, it says ran by sled mainframe with no officer. So, if it was an officer on duty, wouldn't that be in there?
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Taylor says they pulled it through the registration. Mm-hmm. The only other way to get tags information is you would have to go, if you were going to renew your tag, right? But you still have to have like the VIN number or something in South Carolina to enter that in on the website. So you still can't get the information publicly. So why film if you can't get the information? You've got to have a connection to get the information. Gigi Bean says, just apply OCHEM's razor. The simplest explanation is usually the closest to the truth. Oh, who is busy in here this morning? Did somebody go this morning and say, everybody make fake accounts and come in there and support JP?
Yes, girl. They're everywhere.
Like, that's
Like,
insane.
Lurking. Always.
it's like they had a meeting and somebody created 15 fake accounts this morning. Like, it's the most I've ever seen come in here.
Stalking people on social media and watching their lives on behalf of somebody else is also constituted as organized harassment. Just a reminder. If you don't want your own lawsuit, I suggest you stop.
Mary says, I had to block someone this morning. Oh, my Lord. I think I block 10 people a day. So what are you guys feeling? What are you feeling? Chelsea says, this is gang stalking, and it always happens when you have information that's true. Funny how that works. We have 62,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 75,000 likes, and we have 355 souls in the room. Oh, Lord. What is happening? There is a lot of time being spent on fake accounts.
Me too, Griffin, but dang, as fast as we block them, the faster they keep coming in.
Listen, you have, if you're lucky, 80 to 100 years on Earth. When you spend your days, they are spent. You cannot get them back. So on your deathbed, will you be laying there and going, I spent 4 hours making fake accounts, and that was 4 hours that I could have spent making a difference in the world and being kind to others. But instead, I chose to be a dick.
Yeah, but at $350 an hour,
Oh, wow. This is amazing. Lady in red is using her stickers. Just a girl. Yes, I do. I do need you. Let me see if there's room. I really need to. Oh no, it's full. But I will get you just the girl. I need to figure out how to go into my mods and clean that up for the inactive ones. Where did Rando go? Because I made her mod. Now I've not seen her. Courtney says blocking left and right. Krista's blocking. Oh, Rando's in here. I see you now. What about you? Thank you for that puff heart. Stacy says the truth is catching like wildfire this morning. Thank you for the heart, beast. Texas Girl says this proves JP does watch TikTok and is sending his minions. It means your reporting is correct.
Right, there's about 6 of us mods in here right now, and we're all blocking as fast as we can, and they still keep coming. Y'all have been busy with these fake accounts.
Taylor says, why do they take up for him just like Watts? I'll never understand. Prop money. For somebody who's acting like, he's lost all this income from protest and the church is losing money. He sure is spending it just as fast on lawsuits and whatnot. Panther's in the house. Good to see you. Hey, Patriot. Hi, Alba Princess.
Hey, isn't it illegal if JP put out a restraining order and then he comes into your live, even if it's a quote fake account, isn't that considered stalking and harassment and
Yes.
violating of
Yes.
restraining
Yes.
order?
Yes. And more yes.
Well, the only person in here he actually has a restraining order against is me, so he's not allowed to come to my page or my lives and stalk there, even if he has somebody. Everybody else is just a hearing for a protection order.
I think he thinks it can't be proven that he's sending minions in here.
Want to bet?
And isn't it illegal for a cop when he is off duty or anything other than a traffic stop? They can't legally run your plates, can they?
No, not unless they have a probable cause of some
I was
kind.
going to say, that's what I thought.
They have to have probable cause because I asked an officer to run a tag on a vehicle that I thought was stalking me, and he says that he has no probable cause to do that, and they have to because they keep a record of all of that stuff.
Yep.
Why are some people saying, please don't block me? You won't get blocked unless you start spouting off something that's nonsensical, obvious, harassment or something that's mean. Of course, you'll be blocked. Noelle says, I need an update on the case. Is there any update? Oh, Lord, hun. Shug, you were too late. You're going to have to watch the recap on the YouTube. Lord. Yes, they have a list of who we block so we can go back and look at the accounts and kind of ponder. There is a way that you can figure out who the accounts belong to or who created the accounts simply based on pride. So I'll take a look and see. Memes Frost says, because I have no followers and have been blocked. Oh. Well, as long as you're not causing trouble, hun.
I've only been blocking if you're talking negatively about Steph in the comments and attaching JP's name to it.
Oh, man. People have been fired up in the comments this morning. Everybody's like, so let me ask you guys, do you believe, let's tear this apart. Do you believe, I know this is a silly question because we've seen the video, do you believe JP handed something to the cop? By way of comment, let me see that you believe what you saw with your own eyes is him handing something to the cop. Can we establish that?
100%.
Okay. Now, by way of comments, do you believe that it was money, or do you believe it was a business card, or contact information?
Money. That's just my own personal 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.
Definitely money.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I don't know, because for me, the angle that I was watching, I couldn't see if it was either A, money, or B, a business card, or C, a piece of paper. You couldn't, from my angle watching it, you couldn't tell. Those of you who were there can probably identify what it could have been.
I have a question for you, Iowa.
Yeah.
Why would you look both ways if you were passing somebody a business card?
Just hand that off.
Agree.
Probably 200 times. I copied it and then started pasting it over and over and over because nobody's seen it.
Counting it, that's interesting, blessed mama. I just know that he looked around suspiciously. It looks like it was already ready to go. It looked like he grabbed it from his console and just handed it over, like he didn't count, he didn't get out his wallet. It looked like it was just ready to go, whatever it was. Now let me ask you, do you believe the amount was $50? Or do you think, if you believe it was money, do you believe it was $50 or more?
Well, I also have another question. If it was something as innocent as doing good and giving somebody $50 that was in need, why you had to look around?
Exactly.
I agree with that, because why would he have been looking around and looking both ways before he handed whatever it was to that officer? To me, that's suspicious.
And to me, he was counting longer than it just being 220 and a 10 for $50.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And especially having to give it to an officer to hand off. Like,
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that if allegedly this is true and he handed him money, do you believe it was for the cops' time to run tags? Or do you believe that it was really for a protester or someone at the protest in need?
I think that went to the collective donut fund. That's just being honest.
I believe he gave it to the cop because of how much time that cop has spent out there. I don't believe that he gave it for a protester. I 100% do not buy that.
and is that not illegal for a cop to accept the money anyway?
It absolutely is.
Yes.
But I agree with that, especially after hearing how he was treating Melissa and Allie too.
Could he have text the tag numbers to the officer and then paid him to run them?
Yes.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly.
That he got from Kristen Fazio's son. Yes. Yep. I think this is my honest alleged opinion. It's a freedom of speech. I'm gonna have a right to my opinion. Of course, we don't know. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But I believe that Kristen or JP sent the boy. I believe that the boy went back and gave the information to John Paul. And then I believe that information went to another somebody who had the ability to run the tags. That's what I believe.
Steph, I'm gonna hop down. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Oh, for love. These accounts are cracking me up. How many emails do you got to make to go make all these fake accounts? I mean, you've just spent the entire morning. You've wasted your entire morning.
Way too many.
And some of the names are cracking me up. Thank you for the entertainment. Appreciate that. Tina says cops can't take gratuity or monetary gifts. We have city sergeants who won't let cops take free drinks. Yeah, that's what I believe too. And I hope that the cop really is in trouble. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. He'll be at the next protest if he's not. And if he is, do we have a right to find out what action was taken against him? Is that public information? Hi, Rando.
Hi. So just a couple things real quick here. On the whole please don't block me thing, it is really hard sometimes with this because everything comes across. People coming in, somebody who liked the live, somebody who sent a gift. So when you think you're tapping a name, you're actually tapping like the next person's name, and it can happen pretty quickly accidentally. The other thing is, I don't know who caught it, if it was Chelsea or Riz, but good catch on the Steph Who Am I account.
I blocked it so quick.
I saw that. I was like,
I
blocked it.
I
too.
touched it, and then I'm like, oh crap, it went away. So
oh my goodness.
that's
Yeah,
all.
who am I?
My eyes
Let me
are
know.
Peekaboo. Let's see. I'm gonna guess that you're a window licker because you can't get in here.
Somebody who's pissed somebody off very badly this
You
morning.
mean JP the window licker?
Right, Mr. I don't have social media.
Yeah.
Hey JP, sit down. You're wasting your time, you dumb window licker.
Yeah.
Let
Robbie
me know.
Harvey is live right now, by the way. He just now went live. He's in the car. He's probably what he's going to say. But
I just
please-
found out they get.
But no. You heard it here first because, honey,
Right.
Exclusive.
this information was given to me about 7 something this morning. So
Chelsea just got an account that said Steph's cheating husband. Is that right?
Yeah, they were here earlier. I blocked them.
let me tell you, I've been married for 30 years.
Oh, jeez.
And I've been with my husband for 32 years. And he does not have the time or the wherewithal to go cheat. Okay? I love him, but he probably couldn't figure it out. Okay? He's too busy. He likes his job. He comes home and he plays his little games, and he likes dinner, and he likes to go to sleep. Because we're 50 years old, and that's what we do. We are too old.
You know, if you don't know, now you know.
I mean, my husband is so simple, and he's so kind-hearted, and I've been with him since 1991, and he's not ever cheated on me.
Steph, you're blessed to have a husband like that. You're an amazing person. I have no doubt that your husband would never, ever do anything like that to you.
No, he wouldn't. No.
Has a husband like that, but she's not even married to him yet.
Aww.
Oh, Guru.
Come on now, stop it.
Goo, you got to go get a ring, honey.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Go get that ring, Guru. Come
Yeah.
on. He definitely deserves it.
Yep, sure does.
If you like it, then you better put a ring on it.
You know, that's what I'm singing already.
Chris is
Don't be scared. You got to keep on it.
Oh, yes. And make sure you show us the ring first so we all can be excited and not tell her nothing about it.
Yeah, block her from TT and then go live and we'll all help you pick out the perfect ring.
That's such
Yes.
a good idea. I would love to do
No,
that.
it's not. It's actually not. Because then it doesn't come from Guru's heart. It doesn't come from where he.
Oh, that's true. That's
The
true.
problem is she already picked it out, and I've been paying on it.
Oh my god.
Oh!
So are
wait to
you
see that proposal.
engaged?
No, I haven't given it to her yet. So it's, but with this lawsuit, I can't afford to pay it off yet. So hopefully, if this lawsuit goes away, you know, Courtney, close your ears. You didn't hear any of that.
A beach proposal is so beautiful. Just saying.
Oh
Yes, you guys are an amazing couple.
So if these lawsuits are found to be illegal or that they were done ill-intentionally, can they drop those?
Yes. Well, in fact, I'm hearing that, you know, like in Ann's situation, that if you've got a problem with somebody, you got to file in their county, in their state. So the fact that that's probably why he put down a fake address for her is because he wanted to go ahead and continue to file the action. Now, will he get in trouble? I don't know. It is against the law to provide false information on an affidavit. But John Paul Miller himself, remember himself saying that you can lie on an affidavit. Anybody can. That came out of his own mouth.
Oh, he lied on mine, that's for sure, and lied in the courtroom to the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Can they do a lie detector test on him?
I don't think they do that for that small claims court.
Honestly,
And if it's a
the problem with
polygraph, I
that-
wouldn't trust it.
The only problem with doing lie detector tests is that they're not always 100% accurate. There are people who can have the ability to lie their teeth off and still beat the system. So that's the only real problem with that. It's a great idea, though.
And there are people who can tell the truth and they still come back and say that you're lying.
And they don't really hold up in court, right?
I just wanted to say I see you, Angelita, and I love you, and I'm praying for your sweet, sweet soul. Angelita's in here, everybody.
Which one is she, Steph?
Micah's mom. Oh, it's I think it's Angelita, and her husband's name is the username. Oh, yeah, JP's minions are definitely in here. You can't say that he don't have a team. The fact that, some believe that he don't even have a TikTok, maybe, but he sure does got people on the TikTok looking. Just a girl next door says, especially if there's a mental health record, they won't use a polygraph. Yes, because it's so inadmissible in court.
So I just wanted to pop in here and say, Robbie has 229 people in his live. You have 356 in yours.
Woo! Yay!
There you go, Steph.
356 souls.
He also did say that some people have been getting friend requests from Tina, so they may be up to something.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Oh, okay.
That's weird.
Angelita says, Micah's mom says, a true narcissist would pass a lie detector with no problem. That's because he truly believes his lies.
Yep. And there's some people that legitimately do. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
there's some people that get to that point.
Yeah, unfortunately, some people, and I happen to be related to one, that would believe his own lies. He would tell you that the sky is blue, and you would have to go outside and make sure the sky is blue.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was that much of a liar.
I don't think JP would ever take a lie detector test. I mean, at this point, that has to be voluntary because it's so inadmissible. God, he would never do that.
Never.
Never. No, they wouldn't.
I think there's so much information stacked against JP. I don't think he would even be able to the lie detector with as much information as there is against him. I don't think that it would be any use to even do one for him.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's addressing McLovin. James just said that RH is saying he was also famous before all of this. I mean, I didn't realize that it was a famous factor.
I
knew he was a content creator. I followed him before this happened, but it's not, but it's all for the fame.
Right.
That he just, right there.
The fact that he used the word famous, bam. Bam. There it is. When you do this, you have to do it for the truth, for the justice, for the community. You can't do it to be famous. If that's what you're seeking, you're going to fail because basically what you're doing is biting the hands that feed you. You cannot do that.
Angelita asked if she can come up.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'll invite. I don't know what has happened with him.
I'll step down if Angelita wants to come up.
Oh, yeah, we probably do need an open spot. Yeah. So whoever can step down. There we go. See, she's trying to connect. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I can't hear hardly anything. I wanted to say that on a couple of these lawsuits that JP has filed against a few of these people, one of the things that he's saying is that he's suing because the protesters have caused him to lose his congregation and that he's losing money and all this. And I'm here to tell you a fact. As someone, when we first met JP, it was at he had a little bitty storefront church on Forest Brook Road, him and Allie, and they went through 2 church splits just at that location, maybe even 3. So John Paul, every time his coming out about him sleeping around or him having affairs or him doing something, the church would split and people would leave. And then he would be down to hardly nothing. And then he'd have to build it back up again. And then his indiscretions would get found out. Then half the people would leave and he'd have to build it back up again. So it's an absolute lie that he's saying against these women, that because of the protesters, he's lost his congregation and he's losing money. No, it's John Paul's actions as to why these people have left. Right. And I know for a fact, and I know for a fact, his church has split 4 times, maybe even 5, but I know for a fact 4. And that had nothing to do with protesters. There wasn't no protesters outside of his building at any of this. This was just people in the church finding out about his, like I said, indiscretions and him getting up and, lying or whatever, and then they would leave. I know the first church split when we were on Forest Brook Road was because I think I told you guys that when I was married to Michael Honeycutt, we were asked to become youth leaders, not youth pastors, but youth leaders. And so we took over the youth, and we had built up the youth real big and all this. But I kept seeing John Paul, I come from severe sexual abuse. And so I know what grooming looks like. And so he tried to the first one he went for was, I think, Anna, and Anna didn't bite. And then he went after Sierra. Sierra didn't bite. Then he even went after baby Abby, and she didn't bite. But then he went after Micah, and Micah bit. And so we sat down, Michael Honeycutt and I sat down face to face with John Paul and his wife Allie and said, look, I said, I'm the one that did the speaking. I said, look, I don't know if you know what you're doing. Maybe it's just, my background. Nine. That's my poodle. But I said, I'm not trying to accuse you of anything, but I know what grooming looks like. And I don't like the way you're acting towards some of the youth, especially my Micah. And he was like, oh, no. And poor Allie was so embarrassed. She was like, no, it's not, And so we had a good meeting. Everything was fine. We left. The very next day, we received an email stating that I was no longer allowed a welcome at the church, but that my family was still welcome. I mean, really? I mean, what did he think that was really going to happen? So we left. And a couple of weeks later, he had a church meeting with the members of the church. He brought in another pastor who I've never met in my life and was having this huge meeting about Angelita. And we didn't find out about it until it was already over and some people reached out to us. And he even went on the platform on a live. It was when Gerald Dees was doing the videoing. He told him to turn off the live because he was going to say a few things, but Gerald didn't. He let it keep running live. And he stood up there and said the worst things about me. I mean, some crazy stuff. Well, then 2 weeks later, he gets back on the same platform with the same group of people and says, I lied, but I lied to test you. What?
What? Yeah.
Half the
Because you
people
figured
left.
him out. Because you figured him out.
Well, but the thing is when what I'm saying is he preached, and he preached and he talked about Angelita was this and Angelita was that. Stay away from Angelita. Angelita's bad news. Da 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 da. I don't even know what all he said. I don't even care to know what all he said, because the people that knew us, they all picked up and left, literally, because of that meeting. And then he started getting people back. And then something else happened, and he had another church split. So that's 2 just on Forest Brook Road, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out whenever him and Micah about the affair, and they were already at the new building. They went through a church split because of that, and the divorce and all that. So that's 3 right there. And so then I know for a fact there was a second church split right there where the protest is. So that's 4 right there that I'm aware of personally. Facts. So I'm praying that these girls are going to be able to get in there and countersue him for lying.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing a suit against someone without valid, real truth. No. I hope they get this thrown out of court, and then I hope that they get to countersue his tail. Because John Paul, like Stephanie said just a few moments ago, he has preached. There's a video out there before Micah was killed, okay? There's a video out there of him preaching, saying, if you knew that I had murdered someone, would you still follow me?
Mm. Yeah.
And when I watched that, I looked at my husband and I said, why are folks not getting up and walking out? Because if my family was in there, my husband would have looked at me. We would have stood up and walked right out in the middle of it.
Yep.
But these people are so brainwashed. It's not a church. It's a cult. That's the difference. That is the difference. And that's what we are dealing with. We're not dealing with church folks. We're dealing with people that have been manipulated and lied to and groomed and all these things. And that's why they're still there, which makes me really sad that they're drinking the Kool-Aid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to come on and just say that, like I said, for a fact, that church is split because of John Paul 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
4 times. And if somebody could probably check and find out, I wouldn't be surprised if it's as high as 5 or 6. But I know for a fact 4.
I believe it to be 5. And the reason I believe it to be the number 5 is because when I flew to Myrtle Beach to cover this case in June, I went to someone's house, a former church member, and I sat down and we had a conversation. And she told me about the 5 times. And she told me some of the times were for inappropriate behavior.
Yep.
From a pastor. And so they would ask him to leave. But then he's the boss, so he would just change the name and get rid of them and then get a new congregation and start over.
See, John Paul has built his church so that he has zero accountability. There are elders in the church, but they have no say. They have a say when it comes to like small things, like, are we going to get rid of the pews and get chairs? Are we going to color the walls purple or green or red? Mm-hmm. Are we going to, put carpet in or tear it out? You know what I'm saying? He has a say, that the people have a say, the elders have a say in that, and the congregation has a say in stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't really matter, but makes them think that they have a say in what's going on. Right?
Right. That's
and
right.
My own, well, I'm not going to tell you the name because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but somebody that I'm extremely close to was going there for a long, long time. And I was really upset, because every time I would talk to this person, I would say, how's Micah? How's Micah? Oh, she is wonderful. JP treats her like a princess. He does everything for her. He takes her on holidays. She has everything she wants, blah, 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 blah. And I just wasn't buying it. That, as a mother, when we birth our kids, there's a connection, right? And it's that sixth sense that I just knew something wasn't right. But every time I would reach out and ask these certain people, they would jump me and say, why are you trying to down the church? Why are you always just so negative about the church? And then when they opened up the school, recently opened up the school, and I found out about that, I freaked. And I told that person, this is good, this is crazy, because he has said from his own mouth that right before he married Allie, he was sleeping with he was seeing a 14 and a 15-year-old girls. Before he married Allie. And that's from his own mouth. That's not me gossiping or putting words in anybody's mouth. That's from his own mouth. 14, 15-year-old girls. He was a teacher at the school when his dad had it. And so when this person told me, oh, I'm so excited, we're opening a new school, blah, 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 I was not pleased. And I told him, I spoke out. And this person that is very close to me, after the phone call, sent me a long text. I still have it. And for 2.5 years, that person didn't speak to me and said, before I get to that, when I asked this person, why do you guys continue? Why do you guys all know what he's doing? You guys all know the drama and the kaflama and the alleged prostitution and the alleged this and the alleged that. The whole church is aware of it. The deacons, the leaders were aware of it. And this person said to me, the reason why we let John Paul do what he does is because without John Paul, we would have no money.
Yep.
John Paul is the money to the church. And so if they were to run John Paul off, they would have no money and the church would not exist. So these people allowed John Paul to run rampant and do his little craziness, because as long as John Paul was there, they could still do things good with the body of Christ, thinking that God was going to honor that. And, we're going to do a school. And we're going to do missions, and we're going to... Really? You think God's going to honor that because your leader is so corrupt? And after I had the phone call with that same person, that person said, this will be the last phone call from me the last message from me for a long time, because I'm tired of every time I talk to you, you always ask, how's Micah? And then you want to trash the church and you want to talk bad about the church. I wasn't trying to talk bad about the church. I was talking truth. I was talking reason. Why are you still there? You're not stupid. You were raised better than that. Why are you being a follower instead of a leader? And that person stayed and stayed and stayed. And then in the end, when that person left, was because John Paul had a bunch of naked pictures of Micah on his cell phone. And he was walking around the church showing them to the other men in the church.
What?
He sure was. And that got back to my son. And my son went to Micah. And this is when she left the church for the very last time. My son went to Micah and he said, why are you so, what was the word he used? Obedient. Why are you so submissive? Why are you so, I can't even remember all the words he said to her, but it woke her up. It was like he basically put his hands on her shoulders and shook the fire out of her and said, wake up. And so that was it for her. And that's when she left. So when I watched that Fix News interview and he sits there and says, there's no naked pictures of Micah. There's never been. You're a lying piece of crap, and that you're going to go to hell for that. because there's a lot of naked pictures of Micah. And Micah actually talked to me about it on one of our last phone calls. And she said, Mom, I'll be honest, he has a lot worse pictures. So the picture that he put on her naked on that dark web or whatever that page was, something about big boobs and something, whatever that website was, Micah knew about it. And Micah said, Mom, I'll be honest, that's the best picture he could have that's the best one he could have chosen, because he has a lot worse.
Oh,
And I said,
man.
Mickey, it's okay, because that we called her Mickey. But I said, Mickey, it's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't allow him to put embarrassment on you or to make you feel a certain way. And so he was threatening to expose all of those to people. He was threatening her to expose all this stuff. And you know, another thing I don't understand is when John Paul first stole Micah's car and all that stuff, he had put out a medical paperwork saying, you know, that they were to get Micah arrested and have her for emergency evaluation. And Sierra and her dad, and I don't know which other siblings, told her, get out of Horry County. Just stay gone for 72 hours. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So I don't know where she was or what she was doing, where she was hiding out at. But then Reginald, the black pastor, is that his name? Mm-hmm. Reginald?
I mean,
he calls
Reginald, see, you're talking about Charles Randall?
Was his name Charles Randall?
Charles Randall,
the black pastor.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so he calls Micah, and he was a counselor and a confidant of Micah and JP. Micah trusted him. She trusted him infallibly. You know, she trusted him. He reaches out and calls her and says, Micah, come back, come to the Walmart, meet me at Walmart, and we'll sit and talk and we'll work this out. I'll sit and, you know, and she trusted him. Turned her car back around, went to the Walmart. When she got to the Walmart, not only was he there, but JP was there. The police were there. They arrested her, took her to the nut house for an evaluation. She was released within 24 hours because they found her to be sane and of no problem. But he went to the hospital, got her pocketbook, and then he had access to her car. It was her white car. He took that car, which was in her name only, and she was the one insuring it and paying for it on her own. And this is while they were married. Who does that? That's just strange to me. But anywho, they arrest her, get her there, da-da-da-da-da. And that's when she had first started building evidence. And she had all that evidence in that vehicle. He got her phone, he got her cell phone, he got her laptop, he got everything and destroyed it. And then he was using her cell phone to message people in the church and to message the family, pretending to be her. So when he took her car, the white car, he literally cut the entire seat where you sit your butt on in the front passenger, cut the entire center of the seat out. What?
Wow.
Cut it out. Keyed the car on the outside, took her computer, erased everything she had, wouldn't give it back to her, wouldn't give her back her cell phone for over 30 days. Now, we were told that the reason why he did that was because when you delete information, that after 30 days, it can't be retrieved. That's just what we were told, it's probably why he kept everything. Mm-hmm. But to my knowledge, she never got any of it back. And then my son, it was Valentine's. It was in February. And it was late at night. Me and my husband were laying in bed. And all of a sudden, my phone started ping, 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 ping. I'm talking like 20, 25, 30 times, right up one after the other. And I looked, and it was Micah's phone. And it was picture after picture after picture of her and John Paul kissing and hugging. And well, the last I knew, they weren't together. And it was just all these pictures, just pictures, pictures, pictures. And then it was a text came and said, "Happy Valentine's to me. Happy Valentine's to Micah. I love you." And it didn't settle right with me. Something was not right. You know, that motherly intuition.
Yes.
So I was laying there talking to my husband, and it was just bothering me. So I responded and said, "Nikki, is this you?" And immediately my kids started saying, "No, it's not her. It's not her. It's someone else that has control of her phone." And I was like, holy cow. So then my son went on Facebook and said, "If you get any messages from Micah's cell phone, just know that Micah is not in control of her cell phone, and so it's not Micah." That's all he said. Mm-hmm. He didn't say it was JP. He just said Micah doesn't have her phone. If you get a message from her, it's not her. And JP said, because my son's wife was a teacher at the school, he reached out and told Micah and my son and my family that if my son did not delete that Facebook post, he was going to fire Victoria as a teacher from the school, that she was going to lose her job. And we were like, what? And we were like, no, don't take that down. Don't take that post down. And he said to Micah, "Wouldn't it be a shame that Victoria would lose her job all because of a text message?" And then when Victoria and my daughter Abby went to the school to try to get Victoria's belongings from her classroom, the principal called the police on her, and they got a no trespass on Victoria and Abby, and they refused to give her any of her stuff from her classroom. And then Micah had reported her car stolen, and then all of a sudden someone's driving Micah's car right there in the parking lot with the cops right there, and they started saying, "Wait, look right there, there's my sister's car, the car that we have a report on that it's been stolen. The car is right here." Cops wouldn't do a thing. Wouldn't do a thing. So this man is, I'm not trying to, like Steph said, from the pulpit, he has said, you can lie on an affidavit, it's just a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. You can lie to the cops. You can lie in court. It's on, he said this from the pulpit. There's videos of it out there somewhere.
Yeah, I remember.
So he's so good at lying that it just rolls off his tongue like, I don't know, it's crazy, you know? And I remember him sitting there talking when we were members of the church about all the severe sexual abuse from his father against him and his brother. I mean, what? That's why when I said the other day, and it got misunderstood and then it got twisted and all that, I don't want to go back into all that because I love everybody and I want there to be peace. But that's why I said on the protest that this is justice for the victims from that building, from those pastors. It's not just JP, it's his dad too. Mm-hmm. For generations, there's sexual abuse in there. I'm telling you, that place is full of demons.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't think that the devil goes to church, you're crazy. Read your Bible. He's in church sitting right next to you. And when I was a baby Christian, that was my biggest mistake. I got hurt so bad, so many times, because I would go into church and I would be like, okay, drop my guard. No. Devil goes to church too. So that's all I wanted to say was, this man is cunning, and he is a liar. He admits this. These are things he said about him on his own self. Then he stands up there and says, I'm full of demons. I've got anger coming out of me, blah, 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 blah. What? And these people are just sitting there watching and listening? Man, I'm telling you, it's not a church. It's a cult. Read up on a church and read up on a cult. They're two different things. They're similar, but they're different. Hey, baby girl.
I'm hopping on to remind you to be careful.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm done.
Okay.
I love you. I love how she comes and covers me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I just know how to be honest. I don't know how to do all this stuff, so I have to be careful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love you. Call me later.
I will, baby.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So that's what I wanted to say. Is that's what I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say, actually. But thank you for giving me the time to say it, and thank you for providing a place where people can come. And I just wish there was a place or a platform where we didn't have to, guard our words, and the victims could actually come in, and it could be a secret, and they could talk, and we would all be like, holy Toledo. Wow. But all my love to you guys. I just pray unity and peace over everybody. And I know the whole thing with Jackie is tearing everybody up.
Oh God. Yes.
And Abel and I wish so terribly we could be there, but we won't be. And our hearts are just broken because she was a good woman. So.
Yeah. I had the honor of meeting her several times when I would go in to cover the protest, and then we got to be friends, and we would text and call, and I was just completely shocked. And the first thing I thought of was her kid. She's got that little boy, and her daughter, Gabe, and I just
and Emily's in college, far away. She's on the dean's honor roll, so.
Yeah.
Gosh, we got to pray that this don't change that for her,
Yeah. My heart goes out to her and her family. The thing about when we come together for stuff like this is we make friends and lifelong people that we come to love and care about. And I'm completely heartbroken. We are the same age, and it's just a young life cut way too short.
Right. And I know that a lot of people are trying, I guess there's a rumor that, she did something to herself. That's not true. And I hope everybody realizes that, it was a health issue. So, it just reminds me, it's a reminder to all of us, love on everybody. Don't be attacking people. I know at one point, she had reached out to us and was bawling. I mean, bawling, because she was being targeted. She was being targeted by a group of women, and they were just abusing her, verbally stalking her, harassing her. And I mean, she called us many times, bawling. I'm not talking crying. No, I'm not talking weeping. I'm talking bawling. And many times she talked to Abel because I was either asleep or, I was, something was going on. So he had more contact with her than I did over the phone. But she reached out to us many times just for comfort, just to say, man, I love you guys, and I need to plug back in. I just needed to hear your voice because I'm hurting, and that broke our heart. That makes you when you have people that you care about, it makes you want to just put your hair up in a bun and take your jewelry off, push your sleeves up, and come out swinging.
Yep.
And people think I that I'm mean or that I'm aggressive or that I'm this or that. Well, just remember, you're always going to be the bad guy in somebody's story, and you're always going to be the good guy in someone else's story. And I have to keep reminding myself of that. And I'm actually going to be starting, hopefully next week or the week after, but I'm going to be starting coming on TikTok on our page, and I'm just going to be doing a daily Bible study with anyone that's interested in listening. And it's not to talk about the case or anything like that. It's to encourage myself and to encourage everybody else that, even though we don't see what's going on, we don't see what we want to see in the natural. We want to see more being done. All of us are sitting here crying out, going, "We need justice. We need justice. We're crying out for justice, and we're waiting for the ABC gang to come out." And the wait. I'll be honest with you guys and transparent, is killing me, man. It's so, I don't know, it just feels like it's just more time and more time for him to just do more damage. So, I thought of doing this Bible study would encourage people, as well as encouraging myself at the same time. So, if you want to be looking out for that, I don't know when I don't have everything in order yet, but I am going to be doing that. And it's just it's to encourage myself first and foremost, but I know that other people will need it too. Right? Yeah. So, but Stephanie, thank you so much for everything you're doing and creating a safe place for all of us to come and talk and try to keep the kaflama and drama down. And I just appreciate it. And I appreciate you giving me this time to come in and speak and say what I had to say. Thank you.
Angelina, I love you so much, and I'm praying for you and your family. I think about you all the time. You're always welcome on my panel, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that Micah's name is remembered and that justice is sought out for Micah.
Thank you.
You're in my heart. We all love you. You can see they're throwing up some purple hearts, and we have some stickers in here in honor of Micah. You can see that we all support and we all love you.
Thank you. I had said to somebody the other day, it might have been my counselor, because I'm in counseling twice a week. Now you know my schedule. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Angelita's in counseling. And I can't remember who bought all those flags that were at the protest or at the benefit in November. But there was like 40 or 50 flags just staked around the event, different pictures of Micah. And then they gave them to the family and split them up, and then she actually sent me a couple of more. So I think I have a total of like 5 or 6. And we're planning on making a Micah's garden in the back of my dad's house, in his back garden. And my husband's got it all drawn up, and he's going to do a little pond with a waterfall. And we were going to put all Micah's flags out there and a big awning, and we'll give pictures along the way and keep, maybe even video it so you guys can be there. And I even had a lady reach out to me and say, I want to send some seeds, for flowers. Mm-hmm. But I literally sit here and cry because I've got 3 flags up in my houseplants, staked in my houseplants. And I'll be honest, I cry every day. Because I look at these pictures, these flags, and I think, God, how can I put these beautiful flags outside and they get rained on and Micah I don't look at them as just flags. I look at them as pictures of my daughter, And I sit here and I cry every day thinking, God, I don't know if I can put those flags up. I can't imagine You know, Micah's flags being out there in the rain and the snow and the weather and the heat. And I know they're just flags, but they mean so much more to me than that. They mean so much more. So I have 3 of them here in the living room with my plants and my house plants. I know that might sound stupid, but I just can't believe it. Every day, I keep thinking, God, please help me. This can't be real. Every day I keep thinking. I mean, I can't even delete her phone number in my call list. It's still there. I'm sure it doesn't work anymore, but I can't delete it. I just can't. And it breaks my heart beyond words that Sierra reached out to Facebook to memorialize her Micah's Facebook page, and it got taken down anyway. You know, it's just difficult, that's all. You know, and I would think that I would be further along in my healing, you know. It's been so long, but I almost feel like it's just, I'm hurting more every day that goes by without justice. It's just like another day of agony. It's just another day of looking at these beautiful pictures of my daughter going, you didn't deserve this. You didn't deserve it. And there's one guy, I can't remember his name. He's a piece of crap anyway. He used to be one of J Nut's right-hand men long ago, and he did a lot of dirty work for him. But he publicly said, the reason why that girl is dead is because she knew too much. And that's from one of his minions.
Oh my gosh.
So
I cannot even begin, nor do I ever want to know what it's like to lose my baby in such a horrific way. And I am so sorry that this happened to you and your family, and that you have to live this horror and this hurt and this grief every single day. It's still so new. It just happened, and I cannot. I know we've never met in person, but know that I hug you in my heart all the time.
Thank you. I need it. You know, I want to be better. I want to be a better person because of Micah. No matter what she was put through, she was still up there worshiping in spirit and in truth with her entire being. Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I tell you this much, if my husband was abusing me, it'd be on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be catching me running around holding his hand and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So she had to have had just a special hand of God on her, you know, and Micah also, something that you need to know is that Micah did not want any of what was done to her to hurt the church. That was her number one concern, is I don't want to hurt the church. I don't want to hurt that church. She had been there he had her 18 years. He had her longer than I did. And she had made wonderful relationships with these people. And, you know, he took her away from her family, so that became her family. There were years and years that none of us, he wouldn't allow her to talk to any of us. So that was her family. That was her family. And so in everything that she was being put through, she didn't want anyone to know, because she didn't want anyone to fall away from God because of what was being done to her. What? I'm sorry. That's something special, because I'd be screaming from the rooftops if my husband was abusing me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd be doing everything I could to put him in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know how my husband treats me, so that's just an example.
Yeah.
But it just and all these other, so I don't know how to say it properly without getting flagged, but all these other, quote unquote, supposed victims. Man, guys, my heart hurts for them. I pray for them. I pray for them all the time, that God would send people to protect them and to make them feel safe. Because none of them feel safe while he's running loose. None of them. And the ABC group has talked to many, but they're so scared. Why?
It is my hope that after the FBI concludes their investigation, that they will be less scared to come forward, especially if John Paul Miller is behind bars, which that's what we're hoping for.
Oh, yeah. Right. But until then, I don't know. I'm not sure if you guys all know about poor Allie Carter that was trafficked. The black girl that has stepped forward with the Diddy Combs thing, and telling her story and all that. And I'm just like, wow. So much. Micah went through so much similar to that. Mm-hmm. And this was not church people. These were people that are satanic in the occult, right?
Yes.
But yet a lot of her stories and a lot of her abuse is parallel to what Micah went through. What does that say?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. I know what you're saying. Without saying it, I know what you're saying.
Right. And so, I look forward to all the truth and evidence coming out. I know Micah didn't want it to come out because she was embarrassed. She was so embarrassed, and I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but Pastor Jumba, the pastor in Africa of the mission, the head pastor of the mission group that Micah had started. I called him because he had flown here just to see Micah, and she was dead like 4 days later. And he was like, what happened? Because she looked at him and his wife as mom and dad. And she was planning on moving over there for, a couple of months out of the year, and then coming back and fundraising, and then going back to Africa. I mean, she was in love with Pastor Jumba and his wife. And when I talked to him, I was not kind. I said, so what was this? What was your trip about? Because there's a picture of him with J-Nut at J-Nut's church. And I said, I thought you were here for Micah. What happened? He's like, well, I don't know what happened, because he had spent many days with Micah. And he said, I don't know what happened, but he told me in his own words, Pastor Jumba's words, was that man is crazy. He would call, when Micah was in Africa, he was calling Pastor Jumba 10, 15, 20 times a day, text messaging, blowing his phone up constantly. Please help Micah. Tell Micah to come back to me. And he says, he told me, he said, Mama, that man is crazy. That man is unstable. He is not right. And that's from Pastor Jumba. So everybody is left kind of going, huh? What?
Right. Yeah.
So if I come across um, if I come across like, how do I say, like I'm being stern or something like that, I need you guys to all know in advance. That's my personality. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I don't want to do that. You know, just because I'm hurting doesn't give me the right to hurt other folks. So that's not my heart at all. But I'm direct. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm
direct.
extremely direct because of my past and the abuse and a lot of things I've gone through as an adult. I've never been in an abusive marriage, so I'll just throw that out there so nobody's thinking that. But there are things that I've been through that are bad. And I just have learned that it don't do you no good to beat around the bush. You know, you've got to be direct. And so when I'm direct, people come across and think, oh, she's being mean or rude or disrespectful. So I'm just telling everybody that's in the group right now, I am just direct, and please just understand, that's my personality. Okay? And I love all of you guys, and I'm so grateful for every bloomin' one of you. Every one of you. So proud of everyone that has had the guts to stand up and say something, even if it has to be censored, you know? And I don't come into every live to talk, but I try to come in and at least watch, you know?
Yeah. Your presence means a lot to us, whether you're on panel or you're just in the room, because we all feel like we are Micah's army here. And so we enjoy seeing you come in here, and that way we can love on you as best we can on a phone through this chat. But you can see with all the purple hearts how much love these people for you have had, and how much Micah has changed their life.
I'm telling you, if Micah was alive and this was someone else, she'd be sitting in your shoes, Steph. She'd be blasting it. She'd be on it like stink on a skunk, because that was her heart.
Yeah.
Was justice. Her heart was peace and exposing the darkness. And that's been my prayer since day one. God, please expose whatever is done in the dark. Bring it into the light. Shine on every corner. And you know the one thing that I hope that the ABC people do, because I don't think that they've gone to that building yet, but man, I'd love to be a fly on the wall when they turn out the lights and spray that luminol and look for DNA. Woo! Can you imagine? It would probably look like a paint show went on in there. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Angelita, we love you very much, and we've enjoyed having you. You're welcome anytime. Know
Thank you
that
so much.
we support you. When you lay down and you close your eyes at night, know that there is other humans on this earth that is praying for you when they go to bed at night.
Thank you.
Love is grief is the price we pay for love. But at the end of the day, the price is still worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, Angelita.
Yes, ma'am.
I haven't ever talked to you, but my name is Allison. And I just love you, just hearing your voice. And I'm so sorry about Micah. And I never met her, and I wished I had him. And I think your grandchildren are so beautiful, and all your daughters are so beautiful. And I think you're so beautiful. And you're a grieving mother, so you've got the right to snap if if you come across rude. Nobody has the right to judge you. And so they have to understand that. And if they can't, they can just walk away and understand you're still grieving. And they have to understand and pray for you.
Yeah.
You know, I've gotten private messages telling me that if this was their daughter that had been killed, they
Hold on
would
a
be in jail.
What? How? What? How did I get a text message from Jackie just now?
What?
Hold on. Let me make sure this is the right Jackie. Maybe I have multiple Jackies.
Hey, Steph, I was gonna step in. This is Kim. Remember Kimber's Crime Corner? I just changed my name. But so guess what? I've moved to North Carolina.
It's a different Jackie. Y'all, my heart just freaking stopped. I'm sorry. When I seen a message from Jackie come in. Different Jackie. I've got to rename that now on my contact list. Everybody take a deep breath.
Ooh, Steph.
Yeah, you almost had me run into the toilet, girl.
Oh my gosh. Well, we know that Jackie probably done that. She probably influenced somebody to send me a text message to freak me out. Just let us know she's here.
Yeah.
Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie, can we say something?
Sure.
Hi. We've kind of been quiet for a couple of days and we've kind of sat back and just listened and taken in all the recordings and everything and I absolutely agree. No one should ever judge anyone who is a family member or especially a parent of someone who has been taken. I was about to say in the line of duty because what people don't realize is, we're not just fighting for. I'm a little emotional this morning because a woman was her taken from this world, so nobody's censored, due to probate last night. So anyway, you know, we have sat there and listened to an individual spew some. We're going to handle it ethically. We have documented it. I think if anybody follows us, they know that we handle everything according to the law. But what I am all about everybody telling the truth. But what is absolutely unacceptable is for somebody to misrepresent the truth, and that we will not tolerate. I am a survivor of a fallen officer who was taken in the line of duty before my wedding. I am now married, happy, kids, all that. But during that time that I was grieving, that gave me no right ever to misrepresent myself to anybody. Okay. And it never gave me the right to hurt anyone who was good to me. And we sat there and listened the other night to an individual on this panel say that we bashed them, we hurt them, we did, and we have documented every contact we've ever had with them. Every contact. Even after we got a voicemail that was just, everybody's welcome to have it, appalling. We have sat there and looked at the messages that have been sent, and there is no one who deserves that. We have fought for Micah because we're from this area. In our case, the attorney, he took his life after calling 911. But most people don't realize he was involved in one of the largest mortgage fraud schemes at the beach. Okay, people don't realize that the attorney that Wayne Miller used in Florence is on the group text with Alex Myrtle. Okay, these are connections that no one knows except people who need to know. Okay, so we have fought and fought and fought, but what we're not going to allow, because we too are victims. I have been harassed. My life was threatened. My life, my children. And I'm not going to sit up here. I don't care what anyone, you know, says. No one's going to sit up here and misrepresent, because we're getting ready to put out the certified cell phone recordings, the missed calls. We're getting ready to put out the audio, and we're getting ready to put out the whole cell phone bill, everything. We're not going to ever, for somebody to say that we were sitting there stating to chase that kid down, go get him. We have the whole recorded live and all the screenshots. You know what it says? You know what it says? Everybody's welcome to go watch it. You know what we said? Can the police go across the street and ask the man what his intentions were? That's what was said. So for someone to get on a panel and to say that we told somebody to chase someone down, that's absolutely, you can't do that. There's no, we have been a part of a situation where we have accepted an American flag. We have sat there and watched elderly people have everything taken from them. There is a doctor's wife right now in Florence who has nowhere to live, or it's not, her house has been foreclosed on, her car has been repossessed, and all because one attorney. And you know what? We're fighting for probate. What was being used to hurt Micah? Probate. Our state has no oversight over probate. Okay? They are stealing and trafficking elderly people through South Carolina probate courts. And we have never been to one protest. If people want to say our name because we're in the same court in front of the same judge, and because they also think that every victim matters, because every victim does matter. There are no secondary victims ever. We can't look at a person who has been hurt and maybe violated their body and say you're secondary. No victim secondary. When you look at a mother who has lost her child, she's not secondary. When you look at a mother who's had her life threatened, she's not secondary. But what's never going to be acceptable is anyone saying something that is not true. That will never be tolerated. That's
Well,
not okay.
I'll just
It's
say that she's
illegal.
talking about me. That's who she's talking about. And
But
I had reached out on the protest on Sunday, and what I said was true. So, and then I
so wait.
personally
I just want to clear this
called
up.
and left Dana
Set
a
up.
personal message to say,
No,
"Hey,
you left a
this is
very.
what's going on." And
No, you did not say that.
Hold on,
yeah,
Angelina. Go ahead and
I
explain.
definitely I called Dana and said to her, because on the group chat, it kept being said, why are you guys not, chasing that person down? Why don't you go? I mean, it was on the live chat. I mean, it's there. And so I was sitting here panicking. And then when I said, this is about justice for Micah. This is about the justice for the people in that building, the victims in that building, the victims in that church. There is a time and a season for everything, the Bible says. And we cannot, if we go and put all of the injustice that's going on in South Carolina into one pot, people are going to get lost. It's going to get overwhelming. And we need to fight these fires one at a time. If we all best up and we try to put this justice for Micah, justice for everyone, instead of it being about the SA, which is what these women are out there doing. These women are out there protesting justice for Micah and the victims of that place, the victims of those people. That's what the Justice for Micah protest is about. And Melissa and Allie and I, we all spoke about it because I said, well, you know, maybe I'm wrong here, because it kept being thrown at, you know, posts kept being going up and down the screen saying, oh, it's justice for everyone. It's justice for everyone. How can we get justice for everyone at the same time? We've got to bust it up. So we've got sexual assault victims. We've got elderly people taken advantage of. We've got different of the same people. It's the same people, the same perpetrators, but they're different situations. And so the women and the men that are out there every single week going justice for Micah, justice for the victims, that's what the Justice for Micah protest is about. Now, other people wanting to come and slide in because there is such a good protest going on, and because there are so many people watching, and they want to curtail and kind of get in on that. I understand. I understand that completely, but this is not the time and the place for it.
Can I speak?
Once we get justice for Micah, and we get justice for all these victims, then we can start going with justice for all these elderly people that are being taken advantage of by the church. But we're not going to win if we're trying to put everything and lump everything into one box. That's what I was trying to say on Sunday, and it was misunderstood.
Angelita,
and so I personally reached out to Dana and called her myself. I called her myself and left her a message.
Hold on,
and
Melissa.
said, look, this is what's going on. And I don't agree with you trying to get, to get everything all blended all together at one time. That's all I was saying. And I wasn't even mad at Dana. I'm not even mad. I mean, since Sunday, I have reposted several exposing dirty Southern money posts myself. Because it's not about, when I called and left that message for Dana, she doesn't know me. And so for her to think that I was being aggressive or mean or whatever, that's what I've been trying to say. I am a hurting mom. I'm trying to get justice for my daughter and the victims of those perpetrators. The sexual assault. That's where we are. We're on sexual assault. We're not about exposing that's their platform, exposing how these elderly people in the church, how the churches are taking their money and doing all this horrible abuse. I get it. I'm on board for that. I support the Hannahs in that 1,000,000%. But right now is not the time to be trying to put that in on Justice for Micah. It's two completely different things. And that's all I was trying to say. And I probably did sound mean or whatever, but I wasn't. I truly wasn't. I wasn't trying to lash out at Dana Hannah. I respect Dana Hannah, but Dana has told me many times, if you need anything, call me. And I've called her so many times, and she never answers. But she calls me if she wants something.
Moderator, please turn back on the comments. Melissa, go ahead.
Angelita, can you please come down and call me real quick? It's important.
All right, I'm out. I love you guys.
Love you, Angelita. Thank you so much.
All right, ciao.
Thank you. So Melissa and Angelita are having going because they have to have an important conversation. Remember that lawsuits are going back and forth, so they have to communicate with one another. Kimberly Cox, I know you wanted to say something. What do you want to say?
Hey, Steph. I don't know if you remember me. I'm sure you do. You do?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, yay. So, I have moved from Oklahoma to North Carolina. If you get what I'm throwing out here at you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. and I miss your face.
Well, I miss yours.
I know. Because my son and my daughter-in-law is down in North Carolina because my son's military, and they have a baby on the way, and so I moved. And as I was driving down here, and I passed the Myrtle Beach, turn off, it made me so sick. It literally just made me so sick, and I was like, I have to let Steph know how close I am now.
Holy cow!
To all of it. So, and I'm going to start jumping in the boxes and stuff. I've just had a lot of, stuff going on outside in life and everything. Yeah. So, but I'm here.
I didn't want to interrupt Kim. Kimberly or Kimberly. Kim. I didn't want to say your name wrong. I didn't know.
Either one is fine.
I like them all. Kim,
I've been here with
Kimberly.
Steph covering the whole thing pretty much since day one, and I had some things going on in my personal life that I just kind of had to step back from social media, and and then plus my move and all of that, and try to get adjusted and everything. So
I just, if I can just say this before I go, we've set back, as everybody noticed, and Angelita, I just would like everybody to do one thing. The live is still up, okay? I want everybody and encourage you to please go and watch the live. If I knew how to do a screenshot on here, I would do it. You can go on there and watch. All I said was, can the police walk across the street and just ask the guy his intentions? That's what I said. I never said anybody should be chased. Second, to be accused of inserting yourself into something when you've never been to a protest, those are pretty powerful words, right? I've never been to a protest. I've never, nothing. I have never been to a protest. And to say I'm inserting myself, we have been fighting this battle since 2018. And my husband had thousands of people already on the page when Micah was sadly taken from everybody, so to say that we've inserted ourselves, we were standing at the state capitol with state senators and representatives for judicial reform. Go and Google the pictures. My husband is standing right beside the senators. That was before Micah. All this happened with Micah. Okay? We've had friends too. I did not know her. She was not close to me. But Dee Dee Reynolds Collins worked in my mother-in-law's favorite store and was an interior decorator for her. And do you know who did her? She's the woman that was found on the land of the day of the FBI raid. Do you know who had just done her mother's estate? The same attorney who has taken his life, who took $22 million facilitated the transfer of $22 million. Was she watching our page and asking questions? I don't know. Okay. But we have friends who have lost allegedly $700,000, an Alzheimer's patient to Wayne Miller. So for her to get on there, and I'm going to put the audio out. That's why she got out real quick, because guess who's heard the audio? I've sent it to the protesters, and that's probably why Melissa came in and said, bail out. Okay? Bail out.
Certain
Because
people have been in her ear, and that's another problem. Certain people have been in her ear.
But I'm not going to sit here. I've been a victim. I had to get notified that somebody I was going to marry was taken in the line of duty. I have to go up there and watch my mother-in-law not know who my husband is, and she gave birth to him. So not only is her memory being taken, but her assets to even get the right medical care. And all we've ever heard, Angelita just said it, is Micah was taken because she knew too much. But you know what? At the same time, she knew too much. But we don't want all these cases put together. She's telling Leslie, don't I don't want you talking about Micah, allegedly. I don't. Justice for Joe. The city and exposing dirty Southern money. The city, the Millers started their empire.
In
We don't
Florence.
want this.
They
Exactly. We
they
don't want y'all
started in
talking.
Florence, y'all. Y'all got to remember that. The
Started
Millers
in Florence and
started
took
in Florence.
$700,000 from one of our friends who has Alzheimer's. So for that woman, she's going through pain. But you know what? She sat there and said, and I'm gonna be the one to say it. She sat there and said, if somebody was abusing me, I would do everything in my power. Then why didn't you go and get your daughter?
Hold on. We're
Okay,
not
hold
going
up.
to do that. No,
Attacking one
no,
another
no,
is
no, no,
not
no,
going to
no.
be
Everybody
okay.
stop. Everybody stop. We are not going to attack Micah's mom on this panel. Not now, not ever, under any circumstances whatsoever. Period. Now, you're welcome to come up and discuss parts of the case, making those connections that we all want to know about, but you cannot personally attack somebody, especially a grieving mother. I will never accept that kind of behavior. Otherwise, you're welcome on my panel to share information. Does that make sense?
I said, but she can attack me on here.
She didn't attack
I
nobody.
wasn't
She
attacking
didn't.
her.
No, she was just
I didn't say, why did she not go? Why? That's a simple question. If your child is being hurt, why do you not go and get them?
She didn't
That's a
know a
It's
lot
simple
of
not
things
that
question.
for
easy.
a lot
It's
of
not
things
that
a
easy.
long
We
time,
don't
and it's
know.
not that easy.
We don't know what that situation is like. We don't know. It's not that simple, especially in domestic violence situations. We are all here for justice for Micah. We support Micah's
Absolutely
mom.
right.
But we have to be careful and we have to be kind to one another,
You're
especially on a
absolutely
public
right.
panel, no matter how we feel.
That's why we've sat back for 3 days. And Micah's mom sat there and said, I ignore her messages and then call her. We have cell phone records of that. Micah's mom's number's under Sierra. I mean, when you go and search it, it's
Micah's
Sierra.
mom don't owe a single soul on this earth shit. She don't have to
What
call
I'm not
you. She
saying.
don't have. She don't have.
What? No, I'm saying, but she has to answer for the. If you
No,
tell
she don't.
somebody things that are incorrect, so you're saying she can do whatever and say whatever about us, and we have it's okay.
Well, I've not heard her say anything about anybody, so I can't speak on that behalf. But it's not going to happen on my panel. That's just the bottom line.
I absolutely agree. So, but you just said that she can do and say whatever she
No, I didn't
wants.
say that. You said that.
Okay. What did you say?
I said that she doesn't owe anybody anything. So if somebody tries to call her and text her and say that they've not heard back from her, okay, well then just
That wasn't happening.
Micah's mom. If my daughter had lost her life, I would not. People would be free to call and text me, but I do not owe them a phone call or text back.
But that was the thing. She was doing it to me. And I have kids, our own case, and I would get back to her. But when I did that morning, she sent me two calls back to back. I missed both of them. I have a sick child at home. Okay. Before I could even get back, I have this lengthy audio message, and you saw she was. I thought, in my opinion, it's very. I didn't think it was very nice, but I did not respond to it. I was not going to respond to it because she is a grieving mother. But to sit there and hear someone say that you were saying things on a live that you were not saying, and people have gone and looked at it and said you never said that, and to say that you're inserting yourself in something, I cannot. The reason people have said justice for Joe is because she isn't her case has been moved to Horry County and in the same courtroom. And we don't go to those protests. We haven't been to one. We haven't been to a fundraiser. So to say you're inserting yourself is difficult because we haven't been to anything, and we have fought just as hard.
I know, I understand, but what I want you to do is just try to have a private conversation and handle this in private. You can't come
Okay.
up on a panel because once you start putting that out there, then what happens is somebody who's in the comments, maybe who were sent in here to specifically spy. I'm just using an example because we
Oh,
know
I hope
somebody's
they
probably in here.
are.
They'll take that and then
I
they'll
hope they
twist
are.
it and then it'll get worse, way worse
Okay.
than it ever needed to be.
All right. Can I talk?
Sure.
So, exposing Dirty South is Dana. So, y'all got to
Well, it's my
remember.
husband
Oh, your
mostly. Yeah.
husband.
Okay, it was my
Oh,
husband.
okay.
Is he's the owner of the page? Sorry.
So, y'all got to remember because I live in this area. The Millers started out in Florence, South Carolina. It goes all the way back. So I'm telling you, there is connections with Micah through all of this too. If y'all would sit and let them explain about everything, this is being connected.
Yes, let me be clear. Exposing dirty Southern money. I love this what you're doing as far as get uncovering the truth and connecting the dots. That's what we want to
Thank
hear
you.
about and that's what we support and that's what we respect. But the individual, if you have a problem with an individual person, I just don't allow that on my
I
panel. Yeah,
no, I completely agree. The
we
only
got to stick to the facts. We got to stick to how this is all connected so that we
okay.
can find out what happened to Micah.
So let me just say the only reason I came on here is because this is going to our children. We have 18-year-old twins. This goes to our kids, and they're like, somebody's saying your mom's a liar, and that's not acceptable. And so, we have done our due diligence, and it will never be on a panel again. But I was going to address it and just say it's not okay to lie on anyone. And that being said, what I agree with what Chelsea just said is, we're not cops, we're not law enforcement, but what we have noticed is when there's an isolated event, right? Like just one person's been hurt, it seems to be dismissed. But when there's a pattern and you can connect all these dots, it's much more difficult, like Chelsea was saying, for anybody to dismiss it because it's like, okay, no, this woman wasn't just sad and allegedly went off and did this. Okay, well then explain this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, we might need to look further. And so our only goal is to go in there because so many victims send us messages. And the first thing we tell them, we're not attorneys, we're not even investigative journalists. All we can do is take your name and number and go and pull up the case where, first of all, vet them and add it to it and get it to the proper people. And so that's our only goal. That's the only thing. We have never been to one protest, fundraiser, anything, nothing, because somebody took our signs out there. That was only bringing more light, and it's not. We didn't even make the signs. They took. So I shouldn't say our signs, but what they were trying to do is that we're trying to get Florence people because they were in this town for decades. The Millers, decades. Some of my best friends went to school with JP. Okay, and we have friends who have lost money. I mean, I know his real estate. I knew Wayne's real estate agent. We know the attorney. We, I mean, this goes far back, like Chelsea was saying. And so, if what their goal was by putting a Justice for Johanna sign out there was going, hey, Florence people, speak up. If
Yeah.
Angelita is saying her daughter passed away because of what she knew, then you have to be open to people telling you this might be possibly what she knew, right? And that's what we're trying to do. I believe Angelita is absolutely 100% right with that. Yes, I believe that because of the harassment I went through, that a retired federal agent assessed the situation and said they thought they were spending around $1 million on my harassment. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not a million. I'm not worth $1 million. So what is so big that somebody would spend that? Right? I mean, that makes no sense to me. It's got to be crazy. And that's what we're trying to do is no one's trying to take over any case. We probably say more about Micah than we say about my own mother-in-law.
Yes.
Because I believe if we can solve Micah's, we can open this whole thing up. Because these people who are having their homes repossessed and they're not repossessed, foreclosed, and their cars repossessed. This is not about the money. But these people were their whole entire life. They didn't want that money to go to attorneys or corrupt judges. They wanted that money, that land that might be 100 years old, to go to their grandkids and their children. And at some point, these people are being put in state facilities where they're sitting in their own filth. And they didn't work for that. And and no matter what their family does, there's nothing they can do to help them because they've been incapacitated. And people say, oh, but my mom has a power of attorney. It doesn't matter. Your individual's been incapacitated. They take them. And I think Micah knew that. Micah knew that women are being abused through probate.
Yep.
And I'm not excusing men and women, to silence them. It's like, oh, you're going to leave me. You're going to divorce me. You know too much about me. Well, I'm going to have you deemed incapacitated. And that was being done to Micah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what hurts so bad, is to hear somebody say you're using her case when you've had thousands of people. We've never monetized. We donate everything. We donate to other people's causes. And this, we're like sitting here going, we'll donate to the protesters, but then people are like, don't donate to this one, don't donate. We don't know what to do. But we have been doing this since 2018. We spent our own money, and we have been fighting this battle. And to hear somebody say anything about you that's not true is heartbreaking. And to hear the audio I got was gut-wrenching. And I just, you can't say in one sentence that the person I loved knew something, and that's why she's not with us. But then in the next sentence say, nobody speak about it. You can't. That doesn't make sense. If somebody knew something, they knew a lot, and you've got to get people talking. Everybody's got to speak up.
Can I just say from my point of view, I'm not saying that your feelings are not valid. I'm not saying that the work you're doing is not good work, but being in a very similar DV relationship as Micah, my parents tried so hard to get me away, but you are so trauma bonded. So I just don't feel like it was fair for you to make that comment about Micah's mom. I think above anything, I owe her an apology for that comment.
I agree. Myself, I was in one and I was put in the hospital almost unalived because of the abuse that I endured, and my family as well tried to get me out of it. And it is a lot harder than what people think, and especially when they've not been in that type of situation. I mean, my ex-husband almost unalived me, and my kids would be here without a mother. But I mean, that just really, really upset me because I don't think that she should have talked to that way.
You know why I said it? Because what y'all don't know is I was in one of those too. And my husband tried to use probate.
I'm not trying to be mean.
I know. Mine doesn't matter.
Hold on. Fuzzy Slippers has something to say.
So I live in Myrtle Beach and it's a mess here. So I can see both sides of it. And there's a few things that I will say, and my dog's going crazy, that while I can see your side and I totally can understand Angelita's side,
we all grieve differently. I lost my mother in 1994 when I was 7, and I still grieve her loss. I possibly had to grieve the possibility of losing my daughter just last week. And you don't know in that moment if my child was taken from me in the way that Micah was. I can't say that I wouldn't be very much trying to push for her, because in that moment she means the most, even though my heart is for everybody. Like, I am the biggest empath, but I also can see where you are coming from. And I see that there are points in the case that need to be brought together and brought out, because we all have been here trying to fight for this. And we can at least appreciate that we can find a way to come together and hopefully use this situation that brought such a big light to the situation of so many victims across this country, across the world, in every sort, that maybe this is that it was like a spark that kind of brought us all together and made us realize that we can unite as one and bring realization and attention to causes. And no, we can't accomplish it all at once, but we can't say that that person is going to handle grief the same way my heart is racing right now just because of all this. Like, I'm going to handle grief differently than Steph is. Steph's going to handle it differently than Kimberly is. Kimberly is going to handle it differently than Miss Chelsea is. Like, everybody handles it differently. And in the moment, we can't say, well, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that? I don't know. I mean, you don't know because we're not there. So I can see both sides of it. And I do completely agree that these facts need to be brought out, because we've all been on board since day one.
Oh,
But
and
I also
other
feel as
thing.
though that those facts, if it's a situation as the one that you and Miss Angelita are dealing with, then it should be maybe privately spoken of due to court cases and such, and people sneaking into groups and screenshotting and all that and recording, because everything that we say on the internet, it's out there forever. It's documented, it's taken into court, it's trying to be upheld, and it's a big mess for everybody. And so I'm going to ask that for my children here in Myrtle Beach, that please watch the aggression, because this is their future. This county that we're building, and we don't know for a fact that she knew to the specifics of what Micah was dealing with and hiding. I'm a DV survivor, and nobody knew. Nobody knew about my child's illness that I work with for 50 plus hours a week, because we hide things very well. And you can't force an adult to do anything. And when someone is brainwashed or they're under control with a narcissist, they're young, they don't know much. Everybody is their own literal person. And so to ask somebody, well, why didn't you do that? That's not fair. And it's appropriate to get the facts out there, but it is appropriate to at least professionally and in an adult manner, confront the person respectfully. And if you can't get in contact with them, I promise you, there's probably a dozen people that are close with that person that can get in contact with them on a professional note.
And I think that's what I was trying to get across is, first and foremost, I'm not going to go into that part of it. There were some things that were not adding up. So first of all, I was not calling Angelita. Angelita was calling me. Second, I agree that everybody handles things in a different manner. I have been a part of a DV relationship, and my family did come and get me. So that's why everybody handles things differently. It was never an option. It was like, like it was that, and that's the part that I was saying is Angelita was actually telling us what she would do. She said if she found out somebody was doing that or her husband was doing that, this is what would happen. So that's why I was asking the question. You said she was saying herself that she knew that some of this stuff was happening. Then that was my question. So why didn't that? And I know
Brothers knew that I was
and
getting
even if
injured
can I
daily,
and I know the person might not leave, but I would do everything in my power. I would go to the police. I would go to whatever. But anyway, what was most important about this is you said for me to contact. I am not going to contact anyone privately that I've watched say things that are not true. We've had the page, or Craig's had the page for. We've been fighting this battle for 2008 since 2018. Never gotten a cease and desist, nothing, because we vet everything and we send it to the proper people, and we, our main goal is all victims. And for to hear someone say you said something, and like I said, y'all all are going to go watch the live and go, oh my gosh, Dana was telling the truth.
But still, we're not here to call
Okay,
Angelita out.
you're
We're
right.
just not.
You're
We're
right,
just not here for
but so
that.
I know, but we can't. But what we can't is when she's telling misinformation. You're telling me I can't call her out,
Not
but
on
you're
my
saying
panel,
she
you
can.
can't.
You can
But you can.
educate
She.
her privately.
Yeah, and you
But
can
she.
use your own
But she can call.
platform.
She can. So she can lie about me, but I can't
She didn't.
You guys
respond.
clearly already have
Well,
each
she
other's
was
phone numbers.
responding to you, but I didn't see her come up here to specifically speak on a situation about you. I think that's
But she was sitting there continuing to say misinformation.
But she never said your name. She didn't talk about you or nothing like
She
that.
did. She said. She
Here
did.
and
She said
directly
she was.
attacked her.
She. I directly. She's been attacking us for 3 days.
So why didn't you, when you come up on the panel, kindly say to her, hey, could you and I speak separately? You're welcome to call, like record the call.
At this point, that's not an option with her.
Because you won't
She
do
is.
it. And that's not fair to call out a grieving mother on a
I
public
think we need to
platform.
all take a break. I think
You're
we need to go
absolutely
have some
right.
lunch
I
and eat a
agree.
Snickers.
I agree.
But I'm going
I
to say
think
this:
you're
if she
absolutely
called you
right.
twice, then return the phone call and don't
No,
come
no,
on
she
here
called me
doing it.
twice, and before I could even respond, within 10 minutes, I got this lengthy audio
Let's go.
message that was
Whoa,
just
whoa, whoa, whoa.
outrageous.
Okay, we're gonna stop
Okay,
there. Oh,
that's
whoa.
irrelevant. Call her back. Don't do it here on Steph's page. Period. End of
Oh my
story.
gosh.
Have a good
Oh, for
day.
the love of God.
Steph, you handled that
For
well.
the
And
love
in
of
all,
God.
like, I was
Welcome, Steph.
agreeing with her on getting facts out there. I agree, but I just felt as though
Right. I
that is
agree with her on
something
that
that
too.
should be addressed privately first before you air it out in the world. And by all means, after you address it and educate the person, then do what you need to, but at least be an adult and not do it on a middle school platform.
Well, she has gone after several people on different people's lives. She has went after Ann. She has went after Dana. She has went after Leslie. There's certain people in her ear that it needs to stop. That's the problem.
Melissa, did you have something to say?
I do. I feel like it could come off like there's a lot of word salad almost. Angelita is grieving and she puts a lot of words. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
My case, I have a hard time, but in a nutshell, what I believe Angelita is most trying to say is that while every victim is just as important as the last, her daughter is the one who is no longer here on earth. And she is scared that that will be lost on some.
Well said.
Is what she is concerned about.
I can see that. I can totally see that. Well, folks, I'm going to go grab some lunch. We're going to take a breather, maybe have a cup of coffee, gather ourselves. We've covered a lot this morning and a lot has happened. We started out with that headline about what John Paul Miller allegedly handed the cop. So if I hear anything else about that or get any other confirmation, I'll let you know. If somebody else finds out something else happened and that I'm wrong, I would love to know. We're just talking it out here. That's what we try to do here. Thank you to all the panel and everybody who has taken the time out of their day to come up here and speak about this. I appreciate you forever and always. I love each and every one of you very much. You know you're making my dreams come true right before my eyes, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Remember that you can follow me on any social media platform. All you have to do is follow the same username and logo. Follow me, especially on YouTube, but I am on Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. Please be blessed and have a blessed day. I will be back live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning. Thank you, guys.
Love you, Mama.
Love you. Love you, Fuzzy. Love you. Bye.